Hello everybody, and today I'm going to be doing another Antflix theory video. Ding ding ding. So last time I did an Antflix theory video, if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. But anyway, I covered why miltricia was evil, and it was confirmed in monophobia. So I was correct. Let's go. Anyway, so today I'm going to be doing miltricia again, but I'll be this time explaining her motives, but I'll split the episode into 3 parts. A recap of what happened last episode, a recap of what happened in my last theory video if you don't want to check it out. Then I'll do why miltricia is doing this, what are miltricia and her father's motives. And I'll also be doing what's the future of Antflix, what's going to be happening in the future. So that's how the video is getting split into 3 parts. But anyway, let's start with the first part, the recap. So I highly recommend you watch my last video, my theory video. But anyway, I'll just do a quick recap. This rat guy in Numbers, he is I don't really want to say his name. His name is full of numbers and it's going to be annoying. So let's just call him Rat Guy for simplicity's sake. So Rat Guy is miltricia's father. So we know that because if you reverse the text in the what is it called again? The Infected Dimension trailer. If you reverse the if you reverse the audio, then it will say stage 1 is complete, and I couldn't be more proud of you, my daughter. So that's Rat Guy. That Rat Guy was saying. I mean, who else would be his daughter? Like, if miltricia is definitely the Rat Guy's daughter. So yeah, that is probably basically confirmed. And then, so that's one of the important points. So that's probably why miltricia is working for Rat Guy, because it's her dad. And maybe that's why X says, I sense a good heart in you. So that's probably, miltricia's probably getting forced to do this, to do these things, maybe not, but I mean probably, because X says, I sense a good heart, so she's probably getting forced to do this by her dad. But anyway, that's the recap, so let's go on to the second part of the video. Miltricia and her father's motives. Now, they definitely know what's going on here, because in the end credit scene of Embarking Fate, you can see miltricia summoning Mr. Stitchy. And so they probably know about the insolence, and they probably want to control it, or maybe something like that. And of course, they probably want to capture Matteo, because Matteo, I'm not sure how they know, but Matteo, in the Matteo origin story, at the end of it, you see Matteo's eyes have the insolence eyes. So Matteo somehow also related to the insolence. And I think it's a situation like this. It's like in the piggy games, George is also in cahoots with the insolent. So I think it's the same for Matteo. Like, after going through a troubling time, like losing his mother, then the insolence would possess them or take control of some part of them. So that's the same for George as well, because in the sewer, when they were trudging through the sewers, Matteo asks George, hey, do you ever have nightmares? And then George says, yeah, and you're sometimes in my nightmares. So I think it's also a situation kind of like the piggy games, like 2 people who are in cahoots with the insolence. They can see each other in the insolence's like dreams, like dreamlike states. Like in the piggy games, in the distraction chapter, Zizzy can see Pony, who's also interacted with the insolence. So I think it's kind of like that. So George sees Matteo in his dreams because he is also in cahoots with the insolence. So they probably want to experiment with Matteo or try to control him, because Matteo has insolence eyes. So that's probably their motives for capturing Matteo. So Mateo, they've obviously been experimenting because after the end credit scene in in Monophobia, we see Mateo captured, and it is confirmed Miltricia is evil. And also, you also see this other infected in another cage next to Mateo. So it's definitely they're definitely experimenting because they locked another infected in with Mateo as well. So definitely experimenting with the insolence and experimenting with the infected. So that's probably their reason for capturing Mateo. Oh, and they probably wanted to, the rat guy probably wanted to capture George as well, because he probably got some information from miltricia. Now, miltricia overheard the conversation George was having about having nightmares. So, now they're 100% certain that George has also interacted with the insolence, and that's why rat guy tried to capture him. Or Rat Guy just tried to capture him because, George was getting in the way of his plans. But anyway, the reason they probably killed Maximus, the reason they infected him, was because Maximus is an adult and he would probably get in the way of their plans. Like, for example, if the plan would probably be miltricia befriend them. Rat Guy would infect Maximus, miltricia would befriend them both. Then miltricia would lure them into a false sense of security. Then miltricia will lure them into the sewers. Rat Guy's, and it's probably Rat Guy's base, because in the Infected Dimension trailer we see him interacting in there, and in the area it just looks like the sewers. So that's probably Rat Guy's base. But anyway, then Rat Guy would capture Mateo and try to capture George as well. So the reason they eliminated Maximus, the reason they infected him, was because Maximus would be a big thorn in their problems. Like, would Maximus trust miltricia? Would Maximus even allow them to go to the sewers? Because Maximus knows the location of the military. Like in the Mateo origin story, he talks about the military and all the news and stuff. So, and he's an adult, so he probably knows the location of the military. It's up north, not in the south. So he would know that miltricia would be leading them into a trap. So that's why they had to eliminate Maximus first, and then they could lure Mateo and George into a false sense of security. But anyway, that was probably miltricia and her father's motives, and what they're probably going to do to Mateo. Maybe they're going to make him infected, or maybe they're going to try, or maybe they're going to try to become control the insolence. Maybe, well, that's just a quick theory. Anyway, on to the next part of the video. The future of Antflix. So we do know key things that will probably happen in the future of Antflix. For example, each episode equals one chapter from book 1 of Piggy. For example, episode 1, they're ants exploring their house, but that starts off as normal. Episode 2, they go to the station. Episode 3, they're in the gallery. Episode 4, they're in the forest. Episode 5, he's in the school. Episode 6, hospital. Episode 7, the metro. Episode 8, what was episode 8 again? Carnival. So yeah, each chapter equals one episode of the main series. So episode 10 would probably equal chapter 10. And in chapter 10, the main character meets George. So, in episode 10, Ant will probably run into George because each chapter equals one episode. Aside from, miltricia and Mateo, they have their own story and stuff. The Mateo arc has its own story. So, each episode equals one chapter. So, we know that. So, we know that. So, by episode 12, which that might, I imagine maybe the series might have a season 1 or season 2, and season 1 might be the end of season 1 might be a chapter 12 or episode 12. So so episode 12 would be chapter 12 where we meet Mr. P. So the series has like 4 episodes till like the technically final arc, and then book 2 comes. So yeah, and then there's a whole problem with Mr. Stitchy. So Mr. Stitchy is a thing in Antflix, so we gotta account for him. Now, Mr. Stitchy, he doesn't really last too long in the episode, but Ant does ask him a few questions. So, first of all, Ant says, "Are you okay?" Wait, hang on 1 minute.
Bunny, are you okay? Not doing the greatest, no. I need to stop asking that. Hello, are you okay? Mate, are you okay? Okay, no problem, but are you okay? I need to stop asking that.
But anyway, beside that, Ant forgot his own continuity error by asking, "Are you okay?" again 3 times to Mr. Stitchy, despite saying to Bonnie, "Okay, I need to stop asking that." Anyway, the conversation he has with Mr. Stitchy, it's not much, but it's somewhat to go off. So when Ant says, "Are you okay?" Mr. Stitchy says, "Don't come any closer," despite apparently watching Ant. And then Ant says, "Are you okay?" And Mr. Stitchy says, "No." So Mr. Stitchy obviously is not in a good mood, but Mr. Stitchy obviously has a problem to do something, because Ant says, "Is there anything else I can do for you?" And Mr. Stitchy says no. So it's probably something to do with the insolence, and Mr. Stitchy is not okay for there. So Mr. Stitchy is obviously being quite cryptic here. So he's probably maybe something to do with Tio, or maybe he's upset with Tio, but this is just a quick theory on him. I'm sure we're going to get much more evidence on Mr. Stitchy later on, and then we can theorize some more. But right now, we just literally have this scene to go off. So Mr. Stitchy doesn't seem to be very cooperative with Ant, but he also says that Ant's time is running out. So presuming that let's just use our knowledge that each chapter equals 1 episode. What episode would Ant's time be running out on? So depending on, it might be episode 12, because he fights Mr. P there. Or it could be in a book 2 episode where his time runs out. So we don't really know for sure, but we know that Ant is probably in trouble. But anyway, guys, I think that shall be it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. You can also expect more Antflix theory videos in the future if this one goes very well. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe. Maybe make your own theories down in the comments. There's a really surprising lack of any Antflix theory videos. Like, go search up an Antflix theory. There's basically barely any Antflix theory videos. So if anybody else wants to make a theory, please. There's basically barely any other theory videos on Antflix. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. And if Antics is watching this, I feel honoured. Thank you and bye.